I said, give me a hell yeah.
Hi everybody, and welcome to a Kevin Owens pushing, WWE stock selling, WWE Network revising episode of the Brothers of Discussion. We're going to cover everything from the geriatrics gobbling up TV time this week to the redesigned WWE Network. It's going to be so much better, unbelievable. Your mind's going to explode. To AEW's big announcement, they're going to be on TV. And make some time for some NXT deep cut coverage. And lest we forget, we're also going to play another round of Two Rumors and a Lie. Woo! Where Mike has to figure out which of this week's moronic dirt sheet rumors is fabricated by Matt, and which two were posted by clickbait journalism. Another exciting week of wrestling. Matt, how the heck are you?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Top shelf adjectives for Matt.
I did that because we have our new show that's coming out on the Brothers of Discussion Talk Hockey, where we're going to be talking Red Wings for all of you Detroit fans out there. And we won't be able to swear, so I was thinking I should get all my swearing out on this show.
That's right.
So I'm gonna
Anything
get all my
goes
goddamn
on BOD.
fucking
That's right.
asshole blowing swearing.
Yep.
Out on this fucking show.
Sphincter slips left and right here on the wrestling episode.
I was dancing while I was doing that. I forget we're not live.
Yeah, this is a real attitude era so far of the Brothers of Discussion. Matt?
Yeah.
Where can the beautiful faction members, where can they find us?
Yeah, if you're not looking for the new show that's coming out, which is at BOD Hockey, you can find, the boring stuff, all the wrestling stuff. That's at BOD Podcast. That'll get you to the Twitter and to the Facebook. Go to bodpodcast.com for all of our old blogs and archived episodes. Also work if you go to brothersofdiscussion.com. And what we don't do enough is beg, plead for you to go to wherever you're listening to this wonderful Brothers of Discussion episode. That'll be fiend-filled.
Yes.
And wherever you're listening to it, please subscribe, rate, and review.
Just leave.
And what you're going to do is help us become more relevant on the old searches for new people that are looking for new podcasts to listen to. And when we become more relevant, you can get free stuff because we have got to get the email once a week, Mike, about the hats that I designed to go ahead and build them and send them out. And I'm ready. But we actually have to know that we have more than 5 reviews on Apple Podcasts before
we got to hit 6 reviews, guys. Come on. We got to get number 6 in the can.
I know that we have, at the very least, like 24 listeners a week. So if you guys could just head on over to Apple Podcasts.
That's right. You guys, there's 24 of you, all right? So each one of you write a review, and then what I want you to do is create what's called a burner account. And what you do is you have that burner account, sign in, write a review, and then what I want you to do next week is create another burner account. Okay? That's right. That's my cat in the background. That'll be 48 reviews before that second burner account even comes into play, Matt. The possibilities are endless.
Yep, and if you do that and you send us a picture, you'll be the first person to get free merch. So
yes.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the podcast.
Just prove you're not a bot. And by doing that, we mean take a picture, a live picture with today's newspaper in the lower left corner.
I wish that bots could post reviews for us. We'd be...
Yeah, if a bot can hold up a picture of today's newspaper and write a review, we will accept it.
So yeah, with that being said, Mike, you want to talk some wrestling? We got
I do want to talk some wrestling.
Out of the way.
This was not a hot week for wrestling. Matt, I think cat's out of the bag. AEW's got a big announcement coming up. I think it's that they're going to be on TV.
Yeah, very weird kind of, I don't know, the announcement, then like people getting upset with like the WWE making their network announcement. Mike, if you had to measure, because you already mentioned the network announcement, if you had to measure which statement, like, meant more to you, was it knowing the exact date that AEW show was going to debut, or was it the actual, like, news that there's a... I mean, I'm leading the witness a little bit here, but, I mean, come on. We knew that AEW was going to be on TV, and they were going to be on TNT. I feel like this announcement happened months ago, and they just wanted to make sure they were still on your radar. So, like, there was some marketing executive that put on their calendar, and then we're going to tell them we're releasing on this day. So, like, a month from now, they're going to tell us what time.
Yeah.
And then they're going to tell us what matches are on the first episode. Like, it's not news.
It's arguably one of the worst dick measuring contests in the history of, male ego.
Do you mean by the size of what one was able to measure against the other?
Yeah, it was such a non-dick. These were two non-dicks being measured one-on-one. It was...
Oh! I interpreted that in a different way, but go ahead.
No, we know you're going to be on TV. You know, call me in September, because, you know, I got a lot of wrestling to watch.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, I got about 12 hours I got to watch every week.
Yeah.
Remind me when it's that week, AEW, but I guess the WWE Network update is bigger news for me, because I'm already spending money on it, first of all. And if this redesign is as cool as they make it look, I think that there is, value in announcing that, because as much as I like watching it at work, you know, and I have downtime, or I just, you know, want some background noise or whatever, it's not the easiest streaming service to navigate through. It doesn't feel like it's newer than like Netflix, which has totally figured out all my interests. You know, it's always got stand-up comedy. It's always got somebody getting murdered. Like, it knows me really well. So I like laughs and murder. WWE Network has no clue what I like. If I get one more Camp WWE, I'm going to throw my fucking head through the TV, because I don't want to see that. I'm going to detach my own head and throw it through the TV.
I don't know who that show is for. To build a show that's written by people that do adult humor, but then to mute that adult humor because kids could be watching, it's this cycle of stupidity. But go ahead.
No, you're right. That show, we don't want to get into it, but the demographics are so mismatched. There's no way to hit all the bases. You got to just put a warning on it. This is for adults, and let the creators do what they wanted to do and not mute them. Not gonna happen. Yeah. Anyway, I think one of the things I always wanted to do, and I just never used the search feature as much on WWE Network, because it never seemed like it really worked. It's almost like it was using an algorithm from like Ask Jeeves, where it would look at something that was popular cumulatively, perhaps, right? Instead of maybe something that's a little more like readjusted as time goes by. So I know it's harder to do because they don't have as much data, and it's not, you know, it's not pooling from as many numbers. But whenever I would look up, like, you know, Undertaker, it would just show. It, like now let's do this. Well, now what it looks like is if I look up Undertaker, I'm going to be very quickly be able to find like all his WrestleMania matches, you know, go right to him, or maybe go right to his Royal Rumble victory, something like that. Right. Where before it just looked like
it was Undertaker and Kane versus The Shield.
Yeah, on like a SmackDown, and it's not that that's a deep cut. It just looked like the tool wasn't working correctly. Like nobody was watching that. So I think if they did the research, I would be shocked to find out other people had a different experience than me. Like I think it was just not being used because it was such a poorly designed search feature. Was that your experience, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like, you know, if you searched Undertaker, it was Hornswoggle follows Kelly under ring to take her. You know, it was magic. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get under and take her. I thought that was really funny. Anyway, I guess On one side, thought it was funny. But yeah, I agree. And we I saw your question that and we're jumping ahead here in our notes, but you asked like what would you want to see?
But
You don't have to look at my list, but I made a list because I'm better with getting time to think of things I want instead of popping them off the top of my head. So I made quite a list here of things that the WWE Network is still missing, in my opinion. Did you want to run through anything that you had in your mind? Because
no,
I felt
you just before, because I want to hear your list. You reminded me. I can swear to God, was trying to look up like Triple H or something, and I swear to God this was the case. When you went in the search feature, you had to type out HHH.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
like nobody tagged HHH to also mean Triple H.
Right.
Just so
and they didn't do like any auto correcting, so you'd spell a name wrong, but it would be like, oh, I've always wanted to watch Dr. Isaac Yankum, just for giggles. But, was it ISAAC? Was it some cute ISAAK? Was it ISAK? And you have to sit there and go through all the spellings. You're like, fuck it. I'll just watch, WWE Campground or whatever. But yeah, Matt, what...
No, I think it was more, I'll just turn this off and watch Hulu.
Yeah, because I shouldn't have to go to YouTube to find the highlights. I think that is ridiculous. There's got to be a way for the WWE to be able to make WWE highlights easy to find. But what were some of your ideas?
I put more new wrestling as number one. Like, I thought that was the obvious one. You put Evolve, you've got NXT, you've got the Performance Center, you've got Raw and SmackDown, which I feel like could be delivered,
That's going to get really tricky, too, especially if Fox, says we want NXT.
Yeah, and I know it's like...
So I kind of want it back and forth. Can I get Raw and SmackDown on the network?
Well, yeah, think about it this way. If you were talking your ideal, right? And I feel like that's what we're building right now because some of this stuff just flat out will never happen. But I'm building out my ideal network. I'm already paying, I'll pay $12.99 a month, but give me Raw and SmackDown, and that's the only place I can get it.
Right.
That I'd go for that. And then I of course put a highlight show on there too, just like you were talking about. I just remember that's how we got into wrestling was Saturday morning highlight shows. And I think if you're trying to reach a kid, you're not going to reach them with Camp WWE because for that to be interesting, I think you already have to know those wrestlers. Anyway, again, we're bringing up Camp WWE for the third time now. That's 4 times I've mentioned it. But they're going to get into wrestling by watching those highlight shows that are dumbed down a little bit. Like, that's what I fell in love with as a kid. I still want a 24/7 title show. I want a women's wrestling program. I thought it would be cool to do writer's room access to create accountability and understanding. So I don't mean 24/7 access to the writer's room. I want to see somebody build out a storyline for if you've ever seen like South Park, the 7 days of building an episode of South Park. I think they should do that for the WWE so I can go, okay,
let's
that's why
that
this
for a
is so
second,
hard to do.
That would be, showing you how the sausage is made. That would be McDonald's taking you to the butcher shop. So are they going to... How would you envision this? Because then you're, confessing this is a written, produced program. This is not, we're even getting further away from kayfabe.
I think you just do it. I think you respect... I mean, are we going through the WWE Network and saying...
Because I think the WWE Network,
punching themselves?
when you get away from pay-per-views, that is a show that I think the people who pay for it would want to see. But I just don't know how you would pitch that to, Vince and have him give the thumbs up.
Well, I think you'd come in and mention the South Park show. And I think it's just something that, companies now, that's the trend, is that you do have to show how it's all made. And think about, all the changes that these companies are making that do keep it a secret and then they get caught later. It's just... you bring up McDonald's, they're trying to make changes to have better product out there, and then they want to show off that better product that they're making. But yeah, I think if it's just another thing that, even in my job now, I'm always begging, please, can we show people what's going on where I'm working. I want to do that for our marketing.
Yeah.
And every time I hear a no, that scares the shit out of me, because then I'm like, okay, what am I missing here that we can't show off our quote unquote great product? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever that happens and we get pushed farther away, it just makes me think like we are missing something. And that's where I said I want some accountability, and then from our point of view, some understanding. So I think to that end, if they actually had a process that was respectable, or maybe they'd make it more respectable if they knew they were going to be on TV. But then from my, what am I going to see from as the viewer? Probably, again, a whole new level of respect for those writers, for the effort that goes into the show on a weekly basis, and to not, I bring up South Park. South Park's doing 20 minutes of television,
Right.
and the WWE has to script 5 hours of Raw and SmackDown, and then there's a whole nother team that's scripting NXT, and then you got 205 Live to start talking about. Then you've got your pay-per-views.
I think what you could do is, if it's a current storyline, it wouldn't work. But if you could look back at something that had already occurred, and you could kind of see, all the steps that the writers and producers had to take to get to that point to make the finished product, I think that would be something kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
they do those reality shows where they show you how to make a horror movie, and so it's like from the ground up how they illustrate an idea, and then how they make a scaled model,
Yeah.
and then how they make the actual 4-dimensional creature that you're going to put in a horror movie. I think it would be like a pretty cool idea to do that. And then in addition, as far as like you mentioned, the performance center, and then I think this kind of goes along with the writer's room. I don't know if you would have. I'm already kind of nixing my own idea, but if you did like a contest to have people kind of create that stuff, like capable people, not run-of-the-mill goofballs trying to write out, and then John Cena wins, not like that. Like So I guess I'm kind of got my hand in 2 cookie jars, but some way to what's that HBO program where they do hard knocks, right? Where you kind of get to see the guys go through training camp. Like NXT's good. I think it would be kind of cool to see, what life is like for the guys in the dirt. So not the guys who are already part of the circus. I think the guys who are still, trying to earn their keep. They barely have gear. Like, they're learning what the workouts are. A little bit like your creator wrestler in WWE 2K. Like, I want the Matt Bloom experience. Like, I want to see what that's like, for these guys who don't even have their character names yet.
No, and that, and you'd be talking too about like an episodic thing, because they have documentaries out there already where you can see that stuff. But you try to put together, like, we just get these ads nonstop for Ms. and Mrs., and then the Chrisleys, and then that fat girl. Why not have a freaking reality show that is actually based off something that we're watching? And I Ms. and Mrs. is the closest, but the actual thing I think we want to watch is the performance center stuff.
Well, it ties into it ties into what he did in commentary this week. Because they're pushing more.
Explain yourself.
Pardon?
I said explain yourself.
Well, they have that new tournament for people who've never been on TV before. And basically, the way they qualified for the tournament, Morrow kept alluding to, the impressive numbers they put up at the performance center. He ranked in the top 3 and blah 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 statistic, or blah 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 exercise. It's about lifting, agility, stuff like that. So I mean, they're trying to, have it kind of come off in like a football way, like a high graded draft pick, something like that. And we know that NFL draft coverage is incredibly popular for some reason. Just watching Bill Burr, as he puts it, round after round after round of these guys getting picked, but you get to see them develop as little acorns into football playing trees. So I think it would be cool in a wrestling way to watch these guys blossom under Matt Bloom, if you will. But I don't think we did all your ideas. Did you have a couple more that you thought would be cool on the network?
Yeah, I've got daily workouts should definitely be a thing where you could pick the superstar you want to emulate.
Isn't that nuts? It's not on there already.
Yeah, same thing. Like the easy on top of that would be dieting and cooking programs. I think they should have come up with a partnership with DDP Yoga like years ago.
Yeah.
This kind of couples with like what we've already been talking about, but there should be an easier to go to documentary section rather than it just being like. I mean, maybe this is what's coming, but you've got the silly in-ring stuff, and then there's like other programming or something. So you kind of gotta go out of your way to find anything.
Yeah, they gotta figure out how to properly categorize, because I think you're totally on the nose there. Like they've produced some incredible documentaries. That Tommy McGee and Bret Hart, the Andre the Giant one. Even just watching like Becky Lynch for a year or Alexa Bliss for a year. It's like the ESPN 30 for 30, but it's WWE. I think it's, 365, something like that. Yeah. They're really well done, but you gotta hope that it's brand new and that you find it on page one, because you're not gonna find it again.
Yeah, you're never gonna see it again.
Yeah.
And kind of coupled with that again is I think all the WWE Studios movies should be on there so that we can watch them and make fun of them. And then lastly, I would like an option for a dedicated server in 4K, and I will gladly pay an extra $5 for that so that my TV doesn't skip a beat or slow down. So, I'd go for that too. I mean, I'm paying for 4K with Netflix. That was kind of like a quick no-brainer decision. No thought put into it. I just went, yep, 4K. There you go. Here's the extra money. So, I think that's the kind of programming. Mike, are you able to see anything, or is it just me during like a Seth Rollins entrance and he's walking down the ramp? I mean, it's just a blur fest on my screen. It goes fucking nuts with that huge thing behind Seth, and I don't know what you're looking at, but it looks awful to me.
I think you have newer equipment than I do. I think my equipment is the perfect age to actually see Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it looks like total shit on my screen. But yeah, I'd like to not have that be a problem. But I mean, those are off the top of my head. You know, I got to think there had to be more than one meeting for hours where they tried to discuss different things like this, and I don't. Maybe it goes back to like what I mentioned before with my own job and like me trying to show how the sauce is made, and then and then they turn around and say no. So maybe when we're asking, can we see daily workouts? No, you don't want to see that. Like, is there something? What do you mean? What are they doing? Why are they getting so buff? I'm not insinuating anything, but you just wonder, like, how have they? There has to be someone that suggested this. And I don't know. We'll keep moving on. We don't want to go a whole hour on this because it's not that interesting. But
I think you brought up a lot of good ones. I'm most excited to see an easier way for me to find the best matches of my favorite people, and it looks like you are going to be able to do that. It looks like you're going to be able to select wrestlers, and then it's going to pull up an archive of like their biggest moments, which we haven't talked about, but that's something they alluded to, is you're going to be able to fast forward to particular big moments on pay-per-views.
Did we read the full?
Oh, the press briefing.
Note from WWE.
Do you have that handy?
The WWE Network will have a sleeker design, simpler navigation, smarter search tools. Superstar pages will also be a part of this upgrade, so fans can navigate by superstar. And the tagline now is "Fans are in control of every moment."
Well, it sounds like something to be optimistic about.
I mean, if you look at what the ad shows, it is just showing people going to like moments rather than like full matches, and that's us being in control of the moments.
I'm not that upset about that because that's like the magic of YouTube. Like, you don't watch a full 60-minute Iron Man match. You kind of, fast forward to the good parts. And with...
my argument would be I don't turn on Netflix to watch moments. And the network shouldn't be a social media.
I mean, it's a different... I don't know. I think it's a little different entertainment medium. It's sports entertainment. It's not Netflix.
That's my argument. I feel like I'm hunkering down if I ever turn.
I mean, there are matches I want to watch from start to finish, but like, let's say I want to watch NXT. I'm just gonna say I'm on my computer. I gotta go and I gotta sign in. I gotta go to. There's home shows and schedule. I guess I'll click shows. There's pay-per-views, in-ring, original, collection, vault. Well, NXT's kind of an
Whatever
original.
That means.
Okay, that's a bunch of original shows. You gotta click. I'm gonna try in-ring. And then there's a mishmash of NXT, NXT UK, Live, This Week in WWE. I got sneeze. Sorry.
Well,
all I was going to do is tell you that what it looks like is going to happen is now the funneling option, you're going to immediately get in, and then you're going to be able to choose which show you want to start with. Do you want to go with pay-per-views, or do you want to go with something weekly? And this is just thumbnail images of everything that happened this week, and then last week, and then so on and so forth. But if you just want to go to NXT, you're not even sure if you're on the right one.
Yeah.
So that's going to get cleaned up for sure.
Yeah, the video looks more like Netflix, the way Netflix is currently set up. So it looks to me they just hired the developers and it's kind of like what every bank did.
Yeah, I'm pumped about the way they categorize things in the little trailer that they gave us. But
let's get back to some other wrestling talk because
I want to just hit the last. Let's just hit the last dry topic and we'll get into the wrestling. You wrote about WWE confirming that some stakes in the company were being sold. Yes. Before we know that Vince was doing that just for the XFL. I mean, it's another instance of that. I don't know if you saw any other big news, but was it tied around funding the football league, or what did you see?
That's always the initial thought, but then there's and we talked about this the last time there were big sales in stock. What we haven't I haven't noticed was anything being purchased back, and I wonder too if we are going to see a dip before the Fox stuff starts getting more ads and things like that, and then we'll see it go up again, and maybe those stocks will be purchased again. I don't know. To me, it's news. It might be nothing news, but it's also something we have no idea but to speculate until the future's here.
Right.
And we are, a day closer to the XFL starting, so that's always got to be the first thing on everybody's mind. But I don't know if every WWE executive is tied to the XFL, so that's where that kind of falls in.
I think indirectly.
Always weird, too, because I wonder...
if that crumbles, that's another hole in Vince's pocket. But yeah.
I always wonder, where does, insider trading become, an actual crime, and we see all WWE executives selling their stock? I just don't... I don't know. It confuses me, but, I guess we'll see more as we move along. But yeah, that's our dry news.
Yeah, okay. I know you wanted to touch on that. But yeah, we had the actual. It was a big week as far as what WWE was telling us. I don't know for the viewers if it was as big a week, but we had another. It seems like another Raw reunion where all the old fogies get called in. They make cameos.
Yeah, remember when we did this for Ric Flair's birthday a couple months ago?
Yeah, we just did this, and then every time we go to Saudi Arabia, it's another Raw reunion. So
yeah, that's true.
We've had 5 of these in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'm disappointed in the people that haven't been watching Raw and then tuned in for this. What are you doing?
You are part of the problem. You need to turn off your TV and wait till Tuesday. Turn on Tuesday. That's where we need you.
Either watch all of it or watch none of it, because you're sending the wrong message.
Now, I mean, honestly, I love the rattlesnake as much as the next person.
You what?
I love the rattlesnake.
Yeah. But what does that mean for tomorrow? You know, like.
Yeah, it's. There's definitely, like, the Titanic has hit an iceberg, and we're bleeding money, and a Stone Cold Band-Aid is not gonna really fill that hole. You know?
Yeah. It's another. I kept like terming it as like a short term. Like they have these goggles that they can't, for whatever reason, they can't look more than like a month down the line. That's why there's like shows being announced that are in the next couple months. It's not like, to them the solution is, oh, let's have this bullshit show this Saturday that no titles will change and maybe we'll get a couple extra people to sign up for the network. Instead of like, let's have like creative develop a story for all of these different characters so that we can actually have an interesting television show.
Right.
Like, is that what we're doing? Are we creating an interesting television show, or are we just trying to get more are we just dinking and dunking for subscribers here and there, which will ultimately probably see a huge dip once we all have to pay $50 for fucking AEW next month. But
what's today? July 24th. So this was the July 22nd Monday Night Raw. We got the 29. We've got like 3 Raws to build up the storylines for SummerSlam.
Nice.
And I mean, this week was kind of a waste. Seth Rollins and AJ had to hang out with, DX and the Clique, and Rollins had to try and do, Billy Gunn's part. Where was Billy Gunn, by the way? We'll just not bring his name up.
I did see that was supposed to be Ricochet, but Ricochet's injury kept him out.
See, that puzzles me too, because he's always been billed as like the wholesome babyface. I don't know if we want him in the ring for Suck It. You know what I mean? I don't want to associate my oh, there goes the tree frog. Hold on.
Well, Jesus. I like how it's like, all right, well, we'll just no talking. Let the frog.
Yeah, we'll give the frog a minute there. All right. Yeah, I don't want. I have this, mental image of Ricochet, and it does not involve him, debasing himself to, this crass, crude, PG-13, desperate attempt to come off as edgy. Yeah. No, he's just a phenomenal athlete. I don't want him with that. Let him be his own thing.
No, that's a good point.
I don't know. So it wasn't a 100% disaster, because there's one godsend for all these old fogies, and it's Mick Foley, who not only took a bump for The Fiend, he also donated his finisher to The Fiend, and he ate a mandible claw to help get Bray Wyatt's masked character over. So I think it's been said ad nauseum, but it's just, there's so many great examples. But Mick Foley is just always giving back to the business, and rarely, it seems, for his own selfish benefit. Whether he's flying off a Hell in a Cell, or eating chair shots from The Rock, or helping get a 22-year-old Randy Orton over with chair shots, or in this case, getting Bray Wyatt over, who's been rebooted 3 or 4 times now.
Well, I mean, I
just want to credit
the
him.
List. Yeah, no. I mean, I think it makes it even more damning. But the first couple promos or programs of the night, you've got John Cena and Rikishi and Devon Dudley coming out and pretty much making the Revival look like a joke. Then you've got the 24/7 championship going through its little maze, and for whatever reason, Alundra Blaze is going to toss it out. and then the $1 Million Man pays her some amount for it instead of just letting her throw it out and picking it out of the garbage.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was so stupid. Then, like you mentioned, DX destroying the OC. So what? This is their first week as the OC, I would say, first official week.
Yeah, the T-shirts. The ink's not even dry on them.
Right, and they just look like a bunch of pansies getting kicked out of the ring by 80-year-old men. Then you've got Sami Zayn running away from the Hurricane and RVD and Broken Neck himself, Kurt Angle. And then the end of the night. Even as much as so many people love the Stone Cold thing, I just kept catching so many different like little. Stone Cold comes out there to the middle of the ring and says, I know you guys aren't really watching now, but you come out for Stone Cold. What? Shut the fuck up, man. You dipshit. Like, everybody's praising that promo, and then I'm the only one sitting there going, oh, okay, so you're right. I don't have to watch any of this because Stone Cold's not there. Okay, learn that lesson. But all of that's 3 hours of that shit. And Mick Foley is the only one. He's always the only one.
Yep.
That job's out.
See, what stinks
And
too is
he did such a great and he did a great job, and it was fun to see even like the nice Bray Wyatt. He turned back into Bray Wyatt and thanked Mick Foley on Twitter. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just because of the way that show was produced. We didn't utilize anybody but Mick Foley to elevate talent. It didn't happen until SmackDown.
Right.
When Shawn Michaels, he still got it. He really focused in on Ziggler. What was kind of a nothing run of the mill. You're a has-been promo, but Shawn knew how to put the right stink on it to really, make Dolph offended and build that whole storyline to the point where you're like, my God, we could see Dolph versus Shawn Michaels at some point. And I think that besides it being a Shawn Michaels one-on-one match, I think it would be cool to see, what does Shawn say to Dolph? Working your whole career, giving everything you got, and being known as a second-rate Shawn Michaels wannabe. And Dolph was some pretty good zingers, but weren't necessarily at Shawn's expense, but you were saying he was as embarrassing as Goldberg in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
There's enough fire in that promo where it's like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck Monday was, but Tuesday, that was a hot show. I thought that was a great angle. Shawn ate the super kick like he got shot in the face. It was great.
Well, I wanted to keep analyzing Monday too and talk about we've brought it up as like a theme, or at least it's the thing I keep throwing out there, is utilizing your assets.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come back to a statement that Stephanie McMahon said like in the last year or two, where the WWE can become the Disney of pro wrestling. And there's so many ways to dissect that. And I just, I wanted to bring up like The Lion King that just came out and is going to make a ton of money for Disney again.
Yeah.
Again, utilizing your asset, the story that you own, and now you're just going to repurpose it. But what did they do, Mike? They had the actors from the old movie, from the cartoon, talk about how amazing it is. Sure, not everybody saw that promo, but those actors didn't go, hit the late-night talk show circuit. Like, Matthew Broderick comes out, and he's like, that's all baloney. They're just trying to make more money. That's stupid. If I was there, that movie would be amazing. And maybe Broderick's thinking that, but that's not what he's coached to do. That's not what the billions of Disney bucks are doing when Broderick does touch an interview or something like that. They know, they're on the teat, and Stone Cold coming out there, and sure, he had fun, and that'll be something to remember, that promo.
Yeah,
but it did absolutely nothing to make sure that there's nothing there for Stone Cold to make sure that he's still getting a paycheck 10, 15, 20 years from now, because he didn't mention anything that's going on right now. Why tune in, Mike? Because all the good stuff's on the network. All the good stuff happens when Stone Cold's here, or used to happen when Stone Cold was full-time. Which, by the way, when we were kids, that guy wasn't on every week. So I'm going to throw that out there. So that's a whole nother bag of worms to dissect. But while everybody's so excited that Stone Cold came out and threw out such a great promo, I can't help but sit back and think about what a stupid job. Like the fact that he wasn't coached up, that he didn't get or he did get like the Chris Jericho treatment where, oh, I got to make all my decisions on AEW. Great. Stone Cold went out there, blew his own horn, sold more IPAs. Good for him. Did nothing for Kevin Owens.
It just seems so easy. Like, we're already embroiled in a storyline with Kevin Owens going up against the Authority and Shane McMahon. Stone Cold doesn't have, his nature failed him, and it won't let him wrestle anymore. But he can still do a stunner. It astounds me that they didn't let Kevin and Stone Cold share a ring and stun some McMahons. Like, that would have been a moment for all time. That would have been something you would probably tune in next week, and then you'd want to see the big payoff match for Kevin versus Shane. But instead it was like, Stone Cold. First they let Hogan and Ric Flair, lick each other's buttholes for a few minutes. Hogan did the rigmarole of all his catchphrases, and it's just, does this really get people off? Like, just watching this 65-year-old guy who can't go anymore just mumble his way through his catchphrases, and then they kind of back out of the way for Stone Cold to come out and say, hey, thanks for watching this week. You guys are our family. And
it's everybody except for you, me, and Booker T.
Oh, Booker.
That was beautiful.
Oh, Booker. Where's Stevie Ray in all this? I don't know.
Yeah, let's dissect that.
Yeah. Where are they now?
I was going to ask you, do you know the one guy besides Mick Foley that tried to get over, like, young guys, young talent?
Who?
AJ Styles.
Oh.
Shawn Michaels comes out to challenge AJ, and if you listen to the non-mic'd work, AJ's yelling about, oh yeah, NXT? I know NXT. I'll come down there, I'll fight everybody down there, and then I'll fight you any day. It's just... He's actually mentioning, some young talent down at NXT. So,
you know what?
Besides all the old guys coming out going, yeah, we're pretty great. We're the best part of WWE. Best there is, best there was. And AJ Styles.
Yep, that's a perfect point. Like, even if you don't get, like, my suggestion was a little over the top. If we're going to have Stone Cold and Kevin drinking IPAs and stunning everybody, that's, like, over the moon.
Yeah.
They could have just done something subtle, like what you just said with AJ, right? It's something we always give Kevin Owens credit for, like when he's in the middle of a feud, and he'll always be like, "Yeah, don't forget about my buddy Sami Zayn. He's gonna come in too." Or he'll mention his NXT buddies, or he'll mention Tyler Breeze, because he's just keeping them on the peripheral. He's keeping them relevant, and all these old guys, all they asked of them was get yourself over again. It's just, it's baffling. I don't know why you would waste 3 hours not getting over the talent that has to do a huge show in 3 weeks. Like, one of the top 2-3 shows of the year.
Right. And like, well, shit. I will admit I forgot my point.
And here's what stinks, Matt, is I think we're looking at like 4 or 5 promos in a row where the wrestling from WWE has been phenomenal. Like, it looks... The matches we're watching, it looks like those guys are all in the locker room saying, fuck AEW, man, let's go tear the house down. And from, bell to bell, we're getting really strong wrestling, but it's not always getting the reaction it should be because the stories haven't gotten us to the point where we're as invested in cheering like we could be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're wasting your time with another Raw reunion, it's an area where you could be building up this SummerSlam to get the reactions you're gunning for as a wrestling company promotion. So I don't know. A baffling decision by this company. I don't know why. I don't know who in the writing room suggested this would be a good idea to book this like this. I don't know. Because you know what? It's not. We know WWE is not devoid of writing talent. Whoever put that Bray Wyatt thing together is a genius. Additionally, it's a little nugget because it's only had a few weeks to really get baked and cooked and crispy for us, is Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis. I can't believe I'm invested in a Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis feud, but these guys are just fire on the microphone, killing each other. I tried to share the promo exchange they had from YouTube. It's, they're two guys who aren't 6'3" and 250 pounds, so it's never going to be a real story, that WWE main roster, coverage is going to get. But it's not a company devoid of talent. There's somebody in that writing room with good ideas. They're in there. They're in the room. The guy's just not allowed to touch the main roster for the main event players for some reason.
Yeah.
He's got his fingers on Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis. He's got his fingers on Bray Wyatt. The guy's in there, or she. Somebody's in there. Somebody listen to this voice, because if you're missing out, and I know you're already invested in 19,000 hours of wrestling a week, but if you can find it in your heart to just try 205 Live, you're not going to be disappointed. This feud is unbelievable. I can't believe Kanellis, he's like channeling Tommaso Ciampa. That's how strong his promo work is against little 4.5 foot tall Drake Maverick.
I will admit I have not watched it, and I don't not trust you, but I find that extremely hard to believe that he's at Tommaso Ciampa.
It's not at that emotional connection, with like a tag team breaking up. But he's channeling that kind of evil bastard where you're like, God damn. Like, if you're in the crowd, you're just giving a god damn. And you're like, hoping Drake Maverick can get his revenge and Kanellis gets his comeuppance. Like, it's that kind of crowd engagement. You're like, wow. I thought we were just going to take a nap, and these guys are going ham right now.
I will say, all of your love for Ember Moon the last couple months
it's paying off.
It's kind of sour. It's soured me a little bit.
Oh, no!
I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
Well, hey, we know WWE's listening because she got her big moment with Charlotte and Bayley. That was pretty cool.
I mean, to you, it was pretty cool. I thought it was fine.
It's
it's
like, better than,
all right,
it's
now
better
we know,
than zero.
Yeah, now we know Ember Moon wasn't enough for their SummerSlam match.
I mean,
that's what I took from it.
I guess it's SummerSlam. You got to get the woman who was in Sports Illustrated. I get it. I guess.
Well, I just mean, like
she's been on the sidelines for a while now. Like all I can think of is like Instagram pictures with Andrade. I can't even picture a Charlotte match.
Do you think Andrade is poisoning her? Not literally, but like poisoning her mind. Is she like?
I think he's poisoning her. No, I think you're onto something.
Well, Paulie from. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Paulie. Or wait, was it? In Rocky, who said that women weaken legs?
I don't know. That's
okay.
It's
so
it's in the history of Rocky. I couldn't tell you which movie or which character. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure it was the first one. I can picture his manager or his trainer and Paulie saying it, so I don't know. Anyway, maybe Andrade just like pulled her, she saw what the good life could be if she just focused on love instead of working out and wrestling, and
she's just boning Andrade all the
just
time.
making I mean, wouldn't that be the life?
It sounds pretty dreamy. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I mean, Mike, we have, there's so much to complain about this week. And we already talked about the network. We've got NXT to talk about, which always, we sprint through that because it's just so much fun to go. Adrian Priest won, and then Jordan Miles fought Angel Garza.
Hey! Let's do one of your games, then we'll close it out with the deep cuts here, man.
We'll do one of your games. Do you know how hard? Like, these should totally be called your games. I spend so much time trying to find ways to entertain you, and they're dubbed as one of my games. I'm surprised Silly wasn't
Let's
in
do one of
that
Matt's silly.
description.
With that, let's get right into one of Matt's silly games.
One of these days, Mike's gonna play a game with Matt. Who knows?
Who knows?
He'd love one. If there was some way Matt could communicate to his brother
We're playing
that
a
he'd love
game
for his
with
brother
Matt
to make
right
a
now.
game.
It's called Don't Hold Your Breath. All right, Matt. You got a couple
All right, you heard
of
it here first.
rumors and a lie.
Well, I'm supposed to say it because I'm going to edit it on my screen
Oh.
first. So I have to go. Is everybody ready for 2 rumors and a lie?
That's
right,
gonna
folks.
do the rated R
We-
Superstar.
We are playing 2 rumors and a lie where Mike is going to be fed 3 different rumors. 2 of them I found on the interwebs. 1 of them I made up off the top of my head, of course. We are trying to bring light to the fact that these, as the dirt sheets and the clickbait websites, are just trying to get you to click. So go ahead and ignore them because I can make just as good rumors off the top of my head. So that being said, well, we like to give Mike some categories to pick through, so that it's not too hard, or at least you get a start. I feel like maybe it is still
With
just
that
as
said,
hard.
I think I'm 1 for 9.
Yeah, that would be the truth.
I would get sent down to AAA at this point, but go ahead, Matt.
Well, no, I mean they're just hoping you get that good game where you get 2 in a row.
I think I'm
or
helping
something.
prove your point about how dumb these rumors are.
I would totally agree. If you picked mine out every time, then I'd go, oh shit, they're really good at making rumors.
Maybe I'm good at making rumors. All right.
All right,
Here we
Mike.
go.
A couple of these were updated from the last time we tried to play. So let's just go. I'll give you some categories. I'm gonna give you 3 categories. You're gonna pick one of them. We've got I'm sorry. I gotta scroll down to the bottom. We've got must watch TV, Mike. We've got Raw Reunion,
Oh no.
and we've got Summer Slam, like Summer Slam, but I put an E on the end, so it's
Oh,
lame.
I get it. You're like the Joker with the slaughter truck. I love it. All right. Give me the slaughter slam.
All right, Slaughter Slam. Mike, rumor number 1. Trish. Oh, geez, I already gave it away. Trish Stratus is already signed and booked to take out Charlotte Flair, Mike, at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan's news that he's been teasing is going to lead to his eventual move to 205 Live and a title shot, Mike, at SummerSlam.
Oh no.
Mike, Shane McMahon's TV run is not scheduled to change after SummerSlam, but will instead result in a full-fledged authority faction that will include Mr. Roman Reigns. Michael, those are your 3 rumors. The usual fun way you like to play is eliminating one of them and trying to drill it down to just 2. Would you like to play that fun little game?
Wow. This
Or
is
do you
a
know
really
right off the
tough
bat?
batch. This is a tough batch.
So you want me to recap? We've got Trish.
Off the bat, I'm gonna say I think I saw that awful Shane McMahon one somewhere. So I'm gonna say that Matt, you did not come up with that. Son of a bitch! Don't. You son of a bitch! You came up with that?
Yeah.
God, Matt! I saw
Well,
that somewhere. Was it in your files?
I thought it was so obvious that Shane McMahon was leaving TV after SummerSlam. Mike.
Damn it.
That is the one I made up. Daniel Bryan is rumored to move to 205 Live, and Trish Stratus looks like she's going to be at SummerSlam. Well, I should say that's the rumor that came out over the last couple days. And that was actually, I think it was after the Charlotte Flair Ember Moon match too. So that was included with this rumor being created. So
Wow.
some people think even after Charlotte's maybe introduction into that, maybe Trish will come into play and keep Charlotte out of it, which I think would actually put some juice into a match like that. Yeah, Mike, I'm sorry.
Wow.
You are like 3 questions in a row. You've eliminated
The wrong
one that I made up.
first.
But I will say, I think you said it now 2 times in a row that you feel like you've seen the rumor I made up somewhere on the internet, which is going to cause me to go into another panic like last time, and I started searching for it. Maybe you saw something close to it, but I certainly got the Trish Stratus stuff and Daniel Bryan from Dave Meltzer and Cage Side Seats. The Shane McMahon stuff was me just typing it up.
Wow. Why? Is that really a money opportunity for Daniel Bryan to dedicate himself to pre-shows and pay-per-views and be a WWE Network exclusive? That's madness.
It may show us what if that does happen. It could show us how much these guys should be moved around, because I can't imagine Daniel Bryan would take a pay cut to do 205 Live. He would still be getting paid the same amount.
Yeah.
But now it's must-watch TV, right? So I'll say that would be very interesting if it does happen. And
I just don't think that the way they keep making these panic moves to get known names on TV, why you would ever sacrifice opportunities to have Daniel Bryan on. So you said that you saw that because of Meltzer? Or ringside?
I think it was, yeah, it's definitely on Cage Side Seats.
Cage Side. Yeah, I got a thumbs down on that one, because it doesn't make sense financially. Trish, I get, it's a one-off, it's SummerSlam, it doesn't, that's fine.
I mean, you gotta ask too, what's Daniel doing right now? They've had him in the tag division for a while, maybe they're in their heads going, we can put other talents elsewhere. I'm still a fan of this happening.
When he was a tag team with the belt, he essentially, every match got 3 people over. His partner, Rowan, and then whoever they were fighting.
Yeah, so now we can get the whole 205 Live roster over. It's a win-win-win.
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 Right.
Well, that was 2 rumors and a lie. Mike, you are 1 for 12 now. We'll start keeping a count like that. I'll put it on my notes page. 1 for 12. I'll put that in bold heading. 1.
I'm changing the name of the document. 1 for 12.
1 for 12. Yep. So now you have to. It'll be easier to find if you hack into my account, so you can see the rumors.
Let's.
You know what? I haven't. If you do hack in, I have not labeled them, so you're still playing the same game, or you're gonna try
2 for 12. So we could kind of do some NXT deep cuts here, because we're about to hit the hour mark, and we don't want to keep you guys.
I know we could get it under an hour.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Matt, what was your highlight for NXT UK this week?
Did you say NXT UK?
Yeah.
Oh god, I guess Walter and Trent Seven was interesting. I don't know. Can I pick between NXT UK and NXT?
Yes, you may.
All right. The Bruiserweight coming back to NXT. The most interesting character on NXT.
That was a pretty
UK,
big pop scoop. Yeah.
Moved on over to NXT. That was pretty sweet.
I think I really like this Angel Garza guy. I was shocked that he lost. He's the dude who he comes out in long tights, and then halfway through the match, his gimmick is he rips them off, and he's in little Magic Mike tights.
Yeah.
And it was a good match. It just bothered me because it was another in a long line of male black superstars who come out just smiling. New Day did that. Apollo Crews did that. Titus did that. The Street Profits smile all the time. This guy does it. Keith Lee smiles all the time. Every black male superstar is treated like that. It's incredible. Nobody says a word. That might be our first article back off the schneid, Matt. And I guess to be positive, because I genuinely enjoyed both hours of NXT, US and UK. UK, the Walter Trent Seven match was exactly what it should have been. It was a bloodbath of blood blisters from all the knife edge chops these guys gave each other. Just a spot I haven't seen before. Towards the end, Walter got the upper hand because he is, he's the monster of NXT UK. He did his finisher, and then he did it again, and then before he continued to destroy Trent Seven, his cronies came out, and they formed a wall to prevent anybody from doing run-ins to rescue Trent Seven, and Walter further obliterated Trent Seven. So it definitely made me think of Avengers Infinity War when Thanos and Hulk were going at it, and the other supervillains were going to step in and help Thanos, and they stood back to let Thanos have his fun against Hulk. And then he just, killed our beloved monster. So it was pretty cool. I haven't seen a faction build a wall like that. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Still, like the thing that always bugs me with these matches, and they're still at Download Festival with NXT UK.
Yeah, we gotta get out of there.
Like, let's give them a good match here at Download Festival, or give them a championship match, not necessarily one that matters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we had two. Because I think Walter fought Kiwi Buzzsaw, and that was at Download. And then he got another match against Seven. So,
yeah.
It's kind of a busy weekend for the Austrian. But,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, Matt, and then you got to pick one poo-poo moment from all of NXT. If there was one for you. Because I just have one for me. I'm going to start off, because I was really bummed that my beloved Xia Li got squashed by Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to get Bianca over as like the top babyface. Or at least the title contender, because there's nobody to stand up against Shayna right now. Nobody. So I guess they're gonna try and do this again. And Matt, I know you're gonna grind your molars when you hear this, but after Belair got the pin over my beloved Xia Li, Belair was definitely mounting undefeated after she just lost 2 matches in a row before beating my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They gotta teach her some new
I'll write an article about that right after.
Some new lip sync phrases. But yeah, any poo-poo for you, Matt?
Nothing was really too bad. It's just, I can't, it's still good wrestling up and down. Kenny Williams, Noam Dar.
Yeah.
You listed the ladies tag match over at NXT UK. Keith Lee and Priest was pretty good. We both have the same complaints, I think, about Miles and Garza. I would have liked to see Io Shirai just beat the ever-loving hell out of Casey, but I didn't get it. It looked like it was going to happen, and then Candice LeRae stepped in. But, I mean, overall, not as good as, like, the old NXT episodes. I think they need to go back to establishing some of these characters a little bit better. Instead of everybody coming out and having the same gripe that, I'm not on TV enough! Like, it's all anybody says anymore. It's getting pretty old. So somebody has to communicate what all these different storylines are so that they can, not run into the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Undisputed Era, so nothing too...
We got a little baby cameo for Roderick Strong, who, God bless him, he still doesn't know how to do a promo. Like he sounded super scripted, and not in a funny way like Baron Corbin does. Like he didn't have that, like, over the top I'm scripted sound. Like he just sounded like he was desperately trying to remember his lines. But I really like. Did you get to see the Killian Dane promo?
No, I missed that.
It was just cool because he actually brought some real life into it. Where he's like, "Yeah, Matt Riddle, why did I beat you up? I mean, you used to be good at your thing, over at UFC, right? But in my world, there's no weight class, there's no rules." And they showed the video of him doing the big splash on the entrance ramp, and he said, "You're in my world now." And then he just made the threat he's gonna beat him up at Takeover. But it was pretty cool. He had like a it kind of looked like the film reels from the It remake, so it was kind of a black and white, like kind of flashing image, and then the old reels were kind of clicking in the background while he explained how he's gonna destroy Matt Riddle.
Ooh, I can do that with my video editor.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm pumped that Killian's back in the spotlight. I missed him.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, I'm good.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. Fun to see where that goes.
For sure. I'm good.
Well,
we're cutting it close here. We're at an hour 3. That's a new record for us.
Yeah, I'm upset. We could have gotten under an hour.
All right.
Well, if anybody's still listening, we are found on bodpodcast.com, brothersdiscussion.com. We're at BOD Podcast for all the live wrestling discussion. We didn't mention our Facebook group earlier, but that is where our favorite back and forths are going. I got to give a shout out to, man, I'm going to mess up your name. It's like maybe it's Lady of 1,004 Holds, but she does a great job of getting back with us and replying on Twitter.
Andre C he's been going ham this week too. He's been doing really good.
Yeah, and we appreciate all you guys, and we won't forget. And when we're talking about getting some merchandise and giving some away for free, we're not going to forget you. But for us to get to that point, don't forget to...
Jeff O and Chris B also. I didn't want to forget them.
Oh, never. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't want to make it like an award show. We got to make sure we got our list going. You guys know we talk to you. We love you guys. Last thing would just be go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, rate, and review, and let the world know that the Brothers of Discussion are here. Thanks, everybody. All right. That's it for Mike. Bye.
I must bid each and every one of you adieu. So until next time, and until All Elite Wrestling's debut show, Double or Nothing.